Bulgaria, Turkey and Greece streets turned to rivers in deadly floods. Heavy rainfall has caused deadly floods in Bulgaria, Turkey and Greece, resulting in at least 10 deaths. In Bulgaria, flood waters were deep enough to submerge cars and 2 men and a woman died. Rivers overflowed and a bridge collapsed with 3 people missing. Turkey's biggest city, Istanbul, experienced flash floods that turned streets into rivers, washing away cars and trapping people in the local library. 2 people died and a metro station was flooded. In Greece, the central coast region of Magnesia was the worst affected, with torrential rains causing as much rainfall in 24 hours as it usually experienced during an entire autumn. 2 people died and landslides closed the roads, trapping many elderly residents in their homes. Climate change is expected to cause more frequent and serious rainfalls in the future, according to Bulgaria environment ministers. Climate change is going to cause a lot more than more rain. It's going to cause hurricanes, floods, droughts. We should start paying attention to the weather and the climate because it doesn't seem like Mother Nature is going to come down anytime soon. China warns against new Cold War at ASEAN Summit. China's Premier Li Qiang warned against a new Cold War at the annual summit involving members of ASEAN and China, Japan and South Korea. Li emphasized the importance of avoiding taking sides, bloc confrontation and a new Cold War when dealing with conflicts between countries. The summit discussed accelerating negotiations on a long-discussed code of conduct for the South China Sea. The United States and its allies have echoed ASEAN's call for freedom of navigation and overflight and to refrain from building a physical presence in disputed waters. China has built various facilities including runways on a tiny outcrop in the sea. Several ASEAN members have rejected China's map with a 10-dash line showing what appeared to be an expansion of the area it considered its territory in the South China Sea. The summit also expressed grave concern over lack of substantial progress on the bloc's 5-point peace plan for Myanmar. China is going to continue pushing for the South China Sea. Maybe we should change the name and then maybe they might have less claim over it. UK to declare Russia's Wagner a terrorist organization. The UK government is set to declare the Russian mercenary group Wagner as a terrorist organization. The draft order will make it illegal to be a member or to support the group, and its assets will be categorized as terrorist property and seized. The order is expected to come in force on September 13, after which it will be a criminal offense to belong to or promote the group, arrange or address its meetings and carry its logo in public, punishable by up to 14 years in jail. Wagner has been involved in looting, torture and barbarous murders across Ukraine, the Middle East and Africa, and has acted as a military tool of Vladimir Putin's Russia overseas. The move was welcomed by the opposition Labour Party foreign affairs spokesman, who said the government should now press for Putin to be prosecuted for his aggressions. Wagner has operated in Syria and a number of countries in northern and western Africa, recruited thousands of convicts from Russian prisons to fight in Ukraine, and provided the main assault force for Russia's 2022-2023 winter offensive there. This is a non-consequential development. When the UK is collapsing and the EU is collapsing, they are worried about some group that just lost its leader. Oh well. India's fertility rate faces sharp decline amid rising concern over lifestyle factors. India's fertility rate is declining due to lifestyle factors and infertility. Recent official statistics show that the general fertility rate in India has fallen 20% in 10 years, with some 30 million people affected by infertility. Factors contributing to declining fertility rate include obesity, stress, smoking and pollution. Many Indians are also trying for children later in life as more women are going out to work compared to earlier generations. Infertility is becoming a growing problem, and doctors warn that the trend is unlikely to improve in the near future. To raise the birth rates, steps could be taken to help more couples trying to conceive get access to fertility treatment. In my video, Asha rants about birth rates. There's more explanation to why this problem won't be solved by government mandates. Moving on. Sand dredging devastating ocean floors, UN warns. The UN Environmental Programme, UNEP, warns that sand dredging is devastating the ocean floor, endangering marine life and coastal communities. Sand is the second most exploited natural resource in the world after water and is used to produce concrete and glass. The UNEP estimates around 6 billion tons of sand are dredged from the world's oceans and seas every year, which is equivalent to more than 1 million dump trucks every day. Some vessels are acting as vacuum cleaners, dredging both sand and microorganisms that fish feed on, which means that life may never recover in some areas. The UNEP recommends banning sand dredging from beaches to protect coastal resilience and economies. Sand is essential for constructing buildings, roads, hydroelectric dams and solar panels, and it can also play an important environmental role in protecting communities from rising sea levels. The South China Sea, the North Sea, and the US East Coast are among the areas where the most dredging has occurred. No matter how much governments may make noise, until there is actual enforcement of the law, this is just going to keep on going. South Korea's Kia Corp plans factory in Thailand. Kia Corp, a sister company of Hyundai Motor Co., plans to build a factory in Thailand with an annual capacity to produce about 250,000 vehicles. The investment agreement with the Thai government could be signed as early as this year, and construction could start in the first half of next year. A spokesperson for Kia's told Reuters, quote, "As we have global operations, we are reviewing strategies to target various overseas markets, but the Thai factory issues have not been decided," unquote. Kia currently has production sites outside South Korea in the United States, China, India, Mexico, and Slovakia. The more likely reason that they are building a new factory in Thailand is simply because a large amount of factories has been closed down in China, and many companies are moving out of China and finding much greener pastures, so to speak. Russian lawmaker backs CBDC to displace private banking sector. A Russian lawmaker, Anatoly Aksakov, has expressed his support for the adoption of Russia's central bank digital currency, the digital ruble, and believes that as its adoption grows, traditional banking system will be the biggest losers. Aksakov urged private banks to improve their infrastructure in line with blockchain technology to key into the endless possibilities of CBDCs. The digital ruble pilot commenced last month and would be the key in invading Western sanctions following the country's invasion of Ukraine. Russia has now joined over 19 countries that have begun tests around a digital currency to replace private crypto, evade sanctions, and take back financial control. In my opinion, all the CBDCs will not ultimately function or work as intended, and eventually it will fail and everything will fall back to Bitcoin and the base blockchain, which is completely open and permissionless. The inability for regulators to understand that if you were to create something that evades sanctions, that means you will not be able to have control over it. If you have control over it, you won't be able to evade sanctions. This is something I don't think that most of these governments have yet to come to understand. Well, thank you for staying to the end of this video. Please like, share and subscribe. I'll see you again tomorrow.